gavel in the other room, but we'll dispense with the gavel. Okay. Is that good? Okay. Yeah, I'm not Khrushchev. Welcome to the,
Too young to remember that.
yeah, but I know my history. Welcome to the February 28th, 2018 meeting of the Rotterdam Town Board. At approximately 5:42 p.m. with a motion by member Christou and a second by member Signor, the town board entered executive session to talk about valley paving, proposed settlement, and employment history and employee matters. We exit executive session at 6:03 p.m. with a motion by member Christou and a motion by member Signor, all voting in favor in both the entrance and the exit of the agenda review and executive session. We then exited the agenda session approximately 6:50 p.m. with a motion by member Christou and a second by member Signor. Ms. Marco, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Christou?
Present.
Mr. Guidarelli?
Here.
Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Present.
Mr. Signor?
Present.
Mr. Thomason?
Present.
5 present.
Okay, would you all please stand for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we'll begin with a public comment program on the floor. Ms. Marco.
Robert Godlewski?
Good evening. Mr. Godlewski, 1046 Manus Drive. I'm here to talk about some of the things I saw in the presentation by the Shelmont Cable Franchise Study. And what really struck me, one of the things was that where are Time Warner's getting all the revenue? It's from 55 and up age. And I only know that because my kids, they're into that stuff. I'm not a computer person, right? And the reason it took a bite out of me when I heard that, because I got my January bill from Time Warner / Spectrum. I got my February bill, and I was not happy with the increases. One reason that I foiled for the information, I'm trying to find out where we are, because on the bottom of the bill, the franchise administrator is you people, the town board. I've been away from it for a couple of years, all right? And I can tell you this, I filed a complaint with the FCC, with the PSC. I sent an email to Senator Amador's office, to Senator Tacos, and basically the bottom line was, you're on your own, baby. And I can afford a little increase. But what I don't like is when somebody from Spectrum calls me after they get a complaint from the SCC, and they tell me that, well, you have no control over it. And when I'm talking about that high digital box that everybody has to have now, when we make a technological upgrade to our system, nobody controls that. And I didn't agree with them. They gave me an alternative, but like I said before, yeah, I don't understand the tech, and they don't tell you that. They didn't send any literature out, I'm not alone, to anybody, that, hey, here's the alternatives you can go to, instead of using this box. So I thought, that was, I think, probably middle of January, towards the end. So I figure everything's hunky-dory. Get the February bill, and what they weren't supposed to charge me for was the high-definition box. It's supposed to be free for a year. So I go to my wife, I go, what the heck's going on here? And then there's some extra little surcharge for the TV guide. So then I find out you have to get the TV guide now and get the high-definition box. So anybody that knows me, I got a little Sicilian in me, I got a little excited, so we went down to Albany, to the Time Warner Spectrum. big mistake. Got in there, thought we had everything straightened out. We get home, the TV upstairs doesn't get half the channels it's supposed to get. The one downstairs. So I seemed off another complaint, and Time Warner's been trying to get a hold of me, but to be honest with you, I'm frustrated. I'm sure that other seniors, and I am a senior, all right, there's quite a few of us, are more frustrated than I am. Because as that presentation showed, we're supplying them with most of their revenue. And when you go down there to try to switch, everything's bundled. So every time you go, it's like going from the frying pan to, you can't win. And I guess, I know that the franchise agreement has not been approved yet, all right? And I'm hoping, and I said this to Time Warner, if there's some way, and I don't care about the other municipalities, and I can tell you, I have all their franchise agreements from when I was on the board in 2010. I would like to see them do something in there to put some type of bundle for the seniors, all right? And you have that power as a town board, all right? I don't as an individual. Like I said, you know, I got the administrators running around, and I'm used to that because I've been around that my whole life, okay? One last point. I did receive a late email from the town attorney today about a floor request. I filed 2 of them. And I will be there Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock. And I want to offer this to the board, why I was waiting to get that information. I saved some files throughout 17 boxes last year, saved 3. One of them had to do with Time Warner. The other day, I sat down on my computer, and I put together a 4-page chronological listing of when I was on the board the second time, and what has, quote, transpired. Now, I won't have the rest of the information until Tuesday, but, and I have to be careful what I say, because in 2010 and 2011, we do not want to let Time Warner know what our strategy is. So I'm limited as to what I can say here on this microphone. But I can tell you this. 7 years ago, almost to the day, we worked with a contractor. We identified the issues that Time Warner / Spectrum was not living up to the franchise agreement. At that time, the whole board, and the whole board received all the information that I did. And I might add, I have all the documentation, emails, contracts. They were informed as to what Time Warner was not doing for us. And a figure was thrown out then of $60,000 a year in revenue. Now, I've been watching the town board meetings. I know that no contract has been let for a consultant. I would like, and it's your decision, not mine, to meet with the board in an executive session and deliver this information. I can't talk about it here. I had a discussion with the contractor that we worked with just the other day. Nobody has contacted them. Nobody. And the principals that were involved in that discussion are still available, and they want to work with the town. And all I can tell you is, it was a 19-point strategy. So I leave it at that. I would like to meet with you at the executive session on the 14th, but that's your decision.
Go, let me say, discuss that with Ms. McGurl when you come in, and we'll have an answer for you at that time. Because I think we need to talk about how we could do that, or what we can and cannot do.
I know what you can do in executive
You know,
session.
right, exactly, so.
Yeah, and that's why when this was discussed with the board,
Understood.
you're not gonna find anything in any resolution
Understood.
for
I
town
understand
board
what you're
meeting, because we had them right, if I can use the word, right where we wanted them.
Okay.
Thank you for
All
your
right, thank you,
time.
Mr. Galuski.
Have a good night.
Thanks for your comments.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Kelly Weatherspoon?
Hello, my name's Kelly Weatherspoon, Main Street, Rotterdam Junction. I just want to bring up, last November, I talked to many of you of a lot of problems out in Rotterdam Junction as far as abandoned houses, the abandoned buildings, shacks that were being done. And so now we're in March, and it's gonna get nice out because nothing has changed since last November. And at one point, we talked about making the homeowners that are caught up on their taxes, and yet the houses are abandoned, to make them accountable financially, like Schenectady does, to clean up their properties. And I'm just wondering, now that spring's here, is anything gonna change out there? Are any of the shacks gonna be done? The abandoned houses, are any lawns gonna be mowed? The abandoned buildings, the abandoned businesses? Is anything gonna change this year, like we were told last November, we would have a
So
change of some sort?
I'll give you the short answer, which is yes.
Yes,
And more importantly, we have, without being specific, we have had code enforcement actions on several properties.
okay,
Okay.
yep,
And some of those property owners have been brought to court already or are going to be brought to court here in Rotterdam.
Okay.
Okay?
okay,
So there's a process for that.
okay.
And the other point I just want to make, we are, and I can't remember if we talked about this or not, so forgive me, but Young's Auto, we're currently in negotiations
all
with
about
them.
that.
Okay,
Yep.
so so
Yep.
we're working on that.
Yep,
So-
again, thank you, and
No,
I just.
I appreciate you.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
just
it-
wanted a reminder, you know, the smoke's clearing, and
Yeah.
here we go again.
Yeah.
And even some of the ones that don't live there, it's abandoned, the tax cost. So fine them, like Schenectady does, it works with Schenectady, fine them and say, clean up your property.
If I may.
Sure.
Sure.
We're gonna talk process.
I wrote that local law in Schenectady.
Oh.
When I worked there, and
Okay.
so it's not a fine, and it's not specific to just lawns, but I would note that the state now has a zombie properties bill that had made its way through the legislature and hadn't passed for several years, and it has passed now and it has been enacted. And
Okay.
so,
Good.
you know, what Steve is, what the Supervisor Thomason is saying about, you know, the court actions is accurate. In addition to that, I do know that the Director of Public Works will be setting forth an RFP for lawn mowing and vacant building
Good.
maintenance in the
Okay.
town that will be
Okay,
coming
good.
in meetings to come. And so through that process, what essentially will happen is instead of sending endless notices, you know, there will be a notice, and then essentially how it should work is ultimately that, I said, let's say for the sake of argument, that you work for code enforcement and you send me a notice.
Yeah.
Dear Kate McGurl, your lawn is 2 feet high,
Yep.
this is unacceptable, you have 5 days to cure this.
Yep.
I don't cure it, but then, you know, perhaps it takes 2 days to write a ticket, and then it takes 3 weeks to get a court date, and my lawn is still really high.
Yeah.
And you live next door to me, and you
Yes.
don't wanna look at that, essentially.
Right.
And so, the way that, our ability to attach liens works is that we can then subsequently pay a contractor who wins an RFP that the board awards to the lowest responsible bidder, can then go out and mow your lawn, and mow my lawn essentially,
Okay.
and then you don't have to live next to it, and then that gets attached to my tax
Sounds
bill.
great.
So that would be essentially the way that we would be moving.
Sounds great.
Assuming that this board agrees that that is the
Yeah.
direction
No,
that they'd like
sounds
to
good.
move in and avoids a
We're
contract.
taking,
But
okay,
That
thank
would be
you.
the general
And
idea.
thanks for your input.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Jack Dodson?
Good evening, Jack Dodson, 1311 Cipriano Terrace. I just have a few items here that I'd like to discuss. Initially, I'd like to start off with a comment on the town's comprehensive plan. I've had an opportunity to review the 318 pages of the comprehensive plan in regard to the proposed village at Whispering Pines. I mentioned this to Diane. I'd like to commend all the people that worked on this plan in 2001 because it was a yeoman's job to do. That's my understanding. That was the first comprehensive plan for the town. And in reading it, it's amazing, the amount of coverage of all the different issues and items that they did get into the plan. However, in reading the plan now, I look at it and the great recommendations in there relative to development for the town. There was even, some the sidewalks shown in that plan that I thought was pretty good and some vision for it. And I look at this, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the blueprint, almost the vision for how we'd like to see the town of Rotterdam develop over time, which I think is phenomenal. What I was discouraged about, and if I may approach, is where the comprehensive plan is today. I think that an opportunity for the town is lost in the fact that I think this comprehensive plan should be a living document. And based on what you're saying, I obviously requested the comprehensive plan, and Diane was kind enough to give me a disc with the original 2001 comprehensive plan on it. And then some of the additional studies that have been done. As you see on here, some linkage studies. But what I didn't see is this nice product that a town of 30,000 people should have we should be proud of. It should be on our website. It should be readily accessible to any resident in the town so that they have an understanding of what motivates the town board or a planning commission relative to applicants that might come in for development for the town. What I would like to see is a comprehensive plan that is updated for the current condition of the town, not something that goes back to 2001. We all know the town of Rotterdam has changed tremendously since 2001. In addition, I look at just what was provided to me. Again, my expectation is this is an important living document. To get an update of a comprehensive plan that's one page kind of scribbled notes on here, to me is not the town of Rotterdam. Again, if the town plan comprehensive plan has not truly been updated, I'm here to urge the town again that this is a very important document to keep updated. And once again, there's many residents in this town that would offer their assistance to help the town update this comprehensive plan. That's a comprehensive plan. Next, I'd like to just hit on seeker regarding the, again, proposed village at Whispering Pine. I sent a letter to the town board members. I sent a letter to the senior planner, Peter. Again, I think there was a procedural error made in seeker relative to this proposed development. Mainly, again, scoping versus draft environmental impact statement. I've laid out my position to the town. That's all I'm asking again is more of the transparency. This indeed is a controversial project. I'm asking the town to, in writing, put out how you perceive that seeker is going to proceed from here going forward on this project. And that's all I'm asking for in this letter that I provided to you. Again, and working on this proposed development, I've had many opportunities to come into the town regarding FOIL. I FOIL the town over the years. Again, I asked for just fairness in FOIL. If someone comes into the town and they're asking for a very minor request, something that might be 10 to 20 pages, I asked that again, if that can be turned around in 5 days, that would be great. I would encourage the town not to label, again, someone that might be coming into the town for documents as, hey, this guy's maybe a pain to us, he's a 20-day guy. If it is indeed something that takes 20 days to give me, obviously I understand that. But when I do ask for minor information, I would ask the town board again, if I can get the 5-day turnaround, that would be much appreciated. Lastly, I'm here having again reviewed the comprehensive plan in detail. Still after the sidewalk that would go from Curry Road and Helderberg Avenue to Curry Freeze and the Four Corners. Given the development again that's in the area, I really believe that is something that is very important for the town. That is not safe down through there. I still cannot believe standing here that there's not a sidewalk there. And yes, I understand, as Evan and I have discussed, it's not easy to put a sidewalk down through there. But until we actually start to do something, it's never gonna happen. And so I'm here to urge the town. I offer my assistance on that. Time goes by fast. What I don't wanna do is come here in October and say we've lost another opportunity of a year to get a sidewalk down through that location. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, it's up to you. It doesn't matter to you. Okay, let's move into the resolutions. 8618.
The Board of the Town of Rotterdam acknowledges the appointments and promotions of Joseph Dixon, Daniel Marcello, and Robert Zink at the Town of Rotterdam Highway Department.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Motion by member Signor. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay, second by Mr. Guidarelli. Anyone on the question? Okay, Ms. Marco, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Christo?
Yes.
Mr. Guidarelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thomason?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolution 8618 passes. Resolution 8718.
Appoint Paula Diamanti of Rotterdam, New York to the position of Professional Staff Assistant 1 for the Town of Rotterdam, full-time provisional with employee benefits at an annual salary of $39,882, contingent upon position approval from the Schenectady County Civil Service Commission.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
Mr. Supervisor, I'll move.
I think you got beat out.
I got
So I'm
beat
gonna
out.
give it-
All right,
Then I'll second it.
Okay, so we have a motion by member Mr. Guidarelli and a second by Mr. Christou. Anyone in the question? Okay, Ms. Marco, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Christo?
Yes.
Mr. Guidarelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thomason?
Yes.
5 yes.
And I would like to recognize Paula. She's in the back of the room. Paula, would you stand up? I want to thank you for your good work in the town clerk's office and your responsiveness to the people when they come in. Thank you very much for your service to the town.
Thank all of
And congratulations. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for taking the job all these years. That's the first thing I'll say to you.
He's a good employee.
But there we go. So thank you very much. So 8718 passes. Resolution 8818.
Appoint Audrey Knobloch of Rotterdam, New York to the position of Senior Personnel and Benefits Coordinator for the Town of Rotterdam, full-time provisional with full employee benefits at an annual salary of $60,428.09, commencing February 28, 2018.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Okay, motion by member Christou. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay, second by Ms. Miller Herrera. Anyone on the question? Okay, Ms. Marco, would you call the roll?
Mr. Christo?
Yes.
Mr. Guidarelli?
Ms. Marcos, I'm going to be voting no on this. I'm sure Ms. Knobloch is a great employee, but I'm just not sure the timing of this, the benefit or purpose of this promotion and increase, as she has put her resignation in and she's retiring in a few weeks. And it will affect her payout and her pension, not by a lot, but I just don't see this as good timing for someone that is getting ready to retire. So I'm voting no.
Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thomason?
Yes.
4 yes, 1 no.
Okay, resolution 8818 passes. Resolution 8918.
Call for public hearing to be held on Wednesday, March 14, 2018 at 7 p.m. at the John F. Kervin Government Center, 1100 Sunrise Boulevard, Rotterdam, New York, 12306, upon adoption of a proposed local law of the year 2018 for the following purpose: to allow for local adoption to eliminate the 10-year limit on RPTL Section 458B Cold War exemption.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Motion by members Signor, second by Mr. Christou. Anyone on the question? Okay, Ms. Marco, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Christo?
Yes.
Mr. Guidarelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thomason?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolution 8918 passes. Resolution 9018.
Authorize the supervisor to execute a change order with Gallo Construction located at 50 Lincoln Avenue, Waterville, New York, 12189, for cost increase due to extending the new storm sewer pipe outlet, project delays, and numerous underground utility conflicts as part of contract number 01-1603, Melrose Drainage Project, in the amount not to exceed $16,538.93.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Motion by Ms. Miller Herrera, is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Christo. Anyone on the question? Okay, Ms. Marco, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Christo?
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thomason?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolution 9018 passes. Resolution 9118.
Authorize the town board to accept an engineering service amendment from John M. McDonald Engineering located at 7 South Church Street, Schenectady, New York, 12305 for an extra engineering services in the amount not to exceed $11,000.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Motion by Mr. Christo, is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay, second by Ms. Miller Herrera. Anyone on the question?
Mr. Supervisor, just to confirm, 91 goes with 90,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
And
They're
that
related to the
came-
same project.
that came about upon discovery of things that we did not know were over there,
And
correct?
that the contractor didn't know. Some delays with, involving the staging of equipment and other things that were outside of the contractors and the engineers and the town's control. Yeah. Okay. So we have a motion by Mr. Christo, second by Ms. Miller Herrera. Anyone else? Okay. Ms. Marco, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Christo?
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thomason?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolution 9218 passes. I'm sorry. 9118 passes. Resolution 9218.
Authorize the acceptance and release of retainage in the amount of $5,000 from S&L Roofing, 2706 New Scotland Road, Voorheesville, New York, 12186.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Member Gitterelli, is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay, second by Mr. Signor. Anyone on the question? Okay, Ms. Marco, would you call the roll?
Mr. Christo?
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thomason?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolution 9218 passes. Resolution 9318.
The town board of the town of Rotterdam hereby authorizes the appropriation of chips in an amount not to exceed $106,225.56, and hereby modifies the highway fund budget by increasing revenues DA 980 and the revenue account entitled CHIPS Program DA 3501.00 by $106,225.56, and increasing appropriations DA 522 in the subsidiary account entitled CHIPS Improvements DA 5112.2003 by $106,225.56 for the 2017 completed paving projects.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Motion by Mr. Christo, is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay, second by Mr. Gitterelli. Anyone on the question? Okay, Ms. Marco, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Christo?
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thomason?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolution 9318 passes. Resolution 9418.
The town board of the town of Rotterdam hereby authorizes the appropriation of sewer district 5 in an amount not to exceed $20,608.97, and hereby modifies the sewer district 5 fund by increasing estimated revenues SS5 510 in the revenue account entitled sewer rents S5 2120.00 by $20,608.97, and increasing appropriations SS5 960 and the subsidiary account entitled contractual expenses S5 8120.4715 by $20,608.97, and decrease fund balance SS5 909 in the subsidiary account entitled contractual expenses S5 8120.4715 by $1,300 to reflect revenues received and appropriations made in 2017.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Motion by Mr. Christo, is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay, second by Mr. Signor. Anyone on the question? Okay, Ms. Marco, please call the roll.
Mr. Christo?
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thomason?
Yes.
5 yes.
Okay, resolution 9418 passes. And before we go into the consent items, we did remove one of the part-time employees on resolution 100.18. No, sorry. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sorry. That's correct. 100.18. So we had a motion to do so. Right, she's no longer part-time by member Christou, and second by member Signor for that removal or change to that resolution. So that's the only amendment there. Outside of that, does anyone have any questions on any of the consent items?
Mr. Supervisor, I'll make a motion to accept Resolution 9518, 9618, 9718, 9818, 9918, 118 with the amended removal of an employee's name, and 10118 as a consent agenda.
Okay. Thank you. And anyone else? I would just like to say the other thing, because I know.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you. I was just going to mention something. Thank you. Okay, so we have a motion by member Christou and a second by member Signor, and we have a call for bids for Westina Park renovations on here, and so we're redoing fencing in that park and some other changes that will happen over the course of the improvements over the course of this year and next year. So I want to thank the Challenger League and everyone else who does all their hard work down there, between Ms. Brown and Mr. Cirilla, who he and his ball team do a lot of work down in those fields and maintain that park quite perfectly for us. So I want to thank you for your efforts and your work and your attention to the park and to the leagues. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, Ms. Mark, would you call the roll, please?
Sure. Mr. Christou?
Yes.
Mr. Gitterelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller Herrera?
Yes.
Mr. Signor?
Yes.
Mr. Thomasone?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay, resolutions 95 through 101.18 pass. Anyone have anything under miscellaneous or committee reports tonight?
Mr. Supervisor, just under miscellaneous, a couple of things for those who were kind enough to speak this evening. Mr. Godlewski, if you would like to discuss that cable issue as well, along with the attorney, let me know. You know where to find it. I'm more than happy to discuss it with you, because it's kind of a personal pet peeve, because I'm not far from that senior category and my parents are in that senior category. So, you know, we appreciate your input, and believe me, that frustration. And just note that the other thing that I heard you say is perhaps in a new agreement, it should say that when they decide on the technological increase, improvement, we should not have to burden the equipment.
I was under the impression that whenever they did that, they had to officially notify the town, but apparently that is not the case. Franny?
So again, you know, we have an opportunity before we renew any kind of agreement to really address any of those bullet points, and from my standpoint, they're more than welcome. You know, full disclosure, Mr. Dodson and I spoke earlier today, and I appreciate him, you know, informing me from his perspective on things. The town did reach out to Peter Lillaholt, who I believe is RTDE on this, okay? And I'll just read you his response and then give you some notes on what I will commit to do. The town is proceeding in compliance with seeker, and no procedural error has occurred. Was that?
You're fine. I apologize.
All right.
I spoke too loud.
The DEIS was submitted by the applicant. So I think the clear is this is the applicant's DEIS, and the town has in no way accepted it or is claimed to be using it as the town's document. In January, and posted on the town website for informational purposes only. The DEIS has not been reviewed, accepted, or declared complete by the town. What's that? Oh, I'm sorry, reviewed, accepted, or declared by the town. The town board is conducting the optional seeker step of public scoping and is currently accepting public comments on the draft scope, not the DEIS, until March 14th. Following the completion of the public scoping, the DEIS will need to be revised, declared complete, posted on the website, and the town board will hold a public hearing. Public review and comments will then be accepted on the local law and the DEIS. Next steps in the seeker process include responsiveness summary, draft FEIS, and finding statements. Okay, more importantly, in my discussion with Jack, Mr. Dodson, I apologize, I want to make sure, okay, and reassure the public that whatever this prepared DEIS by the developer is that it does not eliminate the opportunity for the public to reply to their scoping concerns in any way whatsoever, and that their replies and their responses, the ones especially submitted in writing, are addressed and you know, part of this process, okay? In our conversation, we discussed what the purpose of seeker is, and that's to make sure that all parties have a forum. And, you know, I will do what is in my power to prevent anybody, any one entity from driving this process and try to keep, you know, all parties accountable. As far as your comprehensive plan comments, as I said to you on the phone, that was something that the supervisor and I identified as soon as we were elected. And we immediately formed a steering committee, which is headed by John Tingley and some other very qualified people. And that process is under review. You know, the zoning classifications also need to be addressed before, you know, implementing a full comprehensive plan, which you say, because the zoning is a big part of the comprehensive plan, okay? And, you know, the steering committee is working on that, and they have come up with some new zoning classifications, i.e. solar. And there's more, there's so much more work to do. But we hear you on that, and that is, you know, that is definitely under review and consideration. And as far as your FOIL concerns, you know, I've spoken to a couple people based on our phone conversation, and I want to assure you that nobody's moving the goalpost, because that seems to be your concern, that you know, somebody's being picked out and say, okay, we'll make him wait 20 or 30 days. The letter that goes out, I believe, is pretty much a standard letter, okay? But, you know, and sometimes people in the department are gone, but I will assure you that no one will be moving the goalpost or will move the goalpost on you. And,
Thank you. Okay, anyone else?
I have something. Just a reminder that we are still, we still have appointments available at the senior center. You can call 211 to set up an appointment for tax preparation through the AARP Foundation's Tax Aid Program. If you need a different site as well, there's a phone number, 1-888-227-7669, and they can help you find a different location if Rotterdam isn't the right location for you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anyone else? No? All right, let's have a motion for adjournment.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Supervisor.
Motion by member Christou for adjournment. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay, second by Ms. Miller Herrera. Okay, all in favor of adjournment, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you very much.